Hi guys, welcome back. Today we've got a countdown of the top 11 crime thriller movies streaming right now on Apple TV+, Paramount+, and Tubi in 2025. From nail-biting suspense to mind-twisting plots, these films are perfect for your next movie night. So grab some snacks, sit back, and let's get started. Number 11. Highest to Lowest. Directed by Spike Lee, Highest to Lowest is a tense and vibrant drama that threads moral complexity through the pulse of New York's hip-hop scene. Lee's signature style mixes urgent social commentary with flashes of dark humor, crafting an atmosphere charged with energy and introspection. The story centers on David King, a legendary record producer, Denzel Washington, whose world is upended when his trusted chauffeur's son is kidnapped for ransom. As negotiations spiral and business interests collide, King faces wrenching decisions that test his values and his legacy within a cutthroat industry. The movie unfolds as both a suspenseful crisis and a meditation on privilege, loyalty, and sacrifice. Washington anchors the film with commanding presence, infusing King with a combination of authority and vulnerability. He's complemented by a talented ensemble cast, including Jeffrey Wright, who add grit and emotional depth to the urban tapestry. This is a film for audiences drawn to nuanced character studies, powerful performances, and contemporary urban drama. Number 10. The Ardens. Directed by Robin Pront, The Ardennes is a brutal and uncompromising crime drama that fuses raw realism with psychological tension and moral decay. The film centers on two brothers, Kenny and Dave, whose lives spiral in opposite directions after a failed home invasion. Kenny takes the fall and serves 4 years in prison, while Dave attempts to start over, sober, employed, and in love with Sylvie, his brother's former girlfriend. But when Kenny is released, old loyalties and simmering resentments resurface, triggering a violent chain of events that tests the limits of blood ties, redemption, and betrayal. Kevin Janssens anchors the film as Kenny, delivering a performance that radiates danger and volatility, a man whose charm masks deep-seated rage. Jaron Percival plays Dave with quiet desperation, embodying a fragile hope for normalcy in a world that refuses to let him escape. Virla Baitens adds layers of complexity as Sylvie, torn between her past and her fragile future, while the supporting cast grounds the narrative in gritty authenticity. Aesthetically austere and thematically relentless, The Ardennes trades glossy crime tropes for a suffocating realism, rain-slicked streets, dim interiors, and the haunting isolation of the Belgian forest. Fans of hard-edged European thrillers like A Prophet in Blue Ruin will find The Ardennes a chilling descent into human darkness, unflinching, morally complex, and devastatingly real. Number 9. Only the Animals. Directed by Dominic Moll, Only the Animals is a stark and intricately constructed psychological thriller that blends fractured storytelling with an unflinching exploration of isolation, desire, and moral ambiguity. The film begins with a mysterious disappearance in a remote, snow-covered region of southern France. From there, the story unfolds through multiple perspectives, each offering pieces of a puzzle that stretches across continents. What seems simple at first slowly deepens into a web of hidden connections and unforeseen consequences, revealing how lives can intersect in unexpected and devastating ways. Denise Ménochet delivers a quietly powerful performance, while Laure Calamy, Damien Bonnard, and Valeria Bruni-Tedeschi bring complexity and tension to characters navigating secrets and emotional turmoil. Guy-Roger Bibisson-Drin adds an unexpected layer that broadens the film's scope, making its impact resonate far beyond its isolated setting. Bleak yet poetic, Only the Animals is meticulously paced and visually austere, trading conventional thrills for a haunting meditation on fate, loneliness, and the choices that bind us together. Fans of nonlinear storytelling and morally charged mysteries will find it deeply compelling and impossible to shake. Number 8. The Instigators. Directed by Doug Liman, The Instigators is a sharp and character-driven crime thriller that fuses high-stakes tension with darkly comic undertones and a study of fractured morality. The film follows Rory, a desperate ex-con struggling to start over, who teams up with Cobby, an unpredictable hustler, for what seems like a straightforward heist. But when the plan goes catastrophically wrong, the two find themselves on the run, entangled in a dangerous web of betrayal, greed, and survival. As their world closes in, every choice pushes them further into chaos, forcing them to confront not only their enemies, but their own fractured sense of loyalty and redemption. Matt Damon brings rugged intensity and emotional weight to Rory, grounding the film with a performance that balances grit and vulnerability. Casey Affleck delivers a nuanced turn as Cobby, layering sharp humor over deep-seated desperation. The supporting cast, featuring Hong Chow Ving Rhames and Alfred Molina, adds richness and unpredictability, each character shaping the moral terrain of a story where trust is a deadly gamble. Tautly constructed and laced with biting wit, The Instigators eschews empty spectacle for tightly wound tension, flawed humanity, and the razor's edge between survival and self-destruction. Number 7. Scream 6. Directed by Matt Bettinelli-Olpin and Tyler Gillette, Scream the Six is a slick and self-aware slasher thriller that fuses sharp meta-commentary with brutal, high-stakes horror in an urban setting. The film follows the survivors of the previous Ghostface killings as they attempt to rebuild their lives in New York City, a backdrop that transforms the series' familiar tension into something bigger, louder, and more unpredictable. But when a new Ghostface emerges, the rules change once again, forcing them to confront not only the relentless killer, but the darker legacies they carry with them. Melissa Barrera leads the narrative with a performance that blends strength and vulnerability, anchoring the emotional core of the story. Jenna Ortega adds urgency and grit, while returning veterans like Courtney Cox deliver layered turns that bridge the franchise's past and present. Each character is more than a horror archetype. They're given depth, motives, and flaws that keep the audience guessing. Stylishly shot and unapologetically vicious, Scream v6 reinvents the slasher formula without abandoning the wit and self-awareness that define the series. It's not just about who dies next, it's about who survives when the past refuses to stay buried. Number 6. Finest Kind. Directed by Brian Helgeland, Finest Kind is a slow-burning and morally complex crime drama that fuses tense realism with an intimate study of family loyalty and fractured dreams. The film centers on two brothers from different worlds, one hardened by a life at sea, the other chasing a future far removed from it, who reunite for a high-risk deal that promises salvation but carries devastating stakes. As their plan spirals into a dangerous game involving ruthless criminals and mounting debts, the brothers are forced to confront their past, their choices, and the unyielding cost of loyalty. Ben Foster anchors the film with a performance that balances quiet ferocity with aching vulnerability, while Toby Wallace brings youthful recklessness and a longing for belonging. Jenna Ortega adds emotional depth as a character caught in the crossfire of family and survival, and Tommy Lee Jones lends gravitas as a weathered figure whose presence looms like a moral compass in a world without easy answers. Elegantly shot and grounded in raw authenticity, Finest Kind resists the lure of flashy set pieces, opting instead for a measured rhythm that emphasizes character, consequence, and the fragile ties that bind people together. Number 5. Malice. Directed by Harold Becker, Malice is a taut and darkly playful psychological thriller that fuses suspenseful medical drama with sharp, unpredictable twists. The film centers on Andy Suffian and his wife Tracy, whose lives are upended when the brilliant and enigmatic surgeon Dr. Jed Hill enters their world. What starts as a routine medical procedure spirals into a tense web of manipulation, deceit, and danger, testing trust, morality, and the hidden darkness within human relationships. Alec Baldwin dominates the screen with a chillingly charismatic performance, effortlessly balancing menace and charm. Pullman and Kidman provide grounded and sympathetic portrayals, their growing unease anchoring the film's escalating tension. The supporting cast, including Anne Bancroft and Brian McNamara, further layers the story with intrigue and complexity. Stylishly shot and meticulously paced, Malice doesn't rely on gore or overt scares. Instead, it thrives on psychological tension, moral ambiguity, and shocking revelations. Number 4. A Time to Kill. Directed by Joel Schumacher, A Time to Kill is a tense and morally charged courtroom drama that fuses social commentary with gripping legal suspense. The film centers on Jake Brigance, an idealistic young lawyer in Mississippi, who takes on the emotionally and racially charged case of Carl Lee Haley, a father seeking justice for the brutal assault of his 10-year-old daughter. As Jake battles a biased legal system and a divided community, the case evolves into a high-stakes confrontation that tests his principles, courage, and sense of justice. Matthew McConaughey anchors the film with a nuanced performance as Jake, balancing vulnerability, determination, and moral conviction. Samuel L. Jackson delivers a powerhouse portrayal of Carl Lee, conveying raw grief, righteous anger, and steadfast resolve. Sandra Bullock, Kevin Spacey, and Charles S. Dutton provide layered support, deepening the film's exploration of race, vengeance, and the human cost of justice. Emotionally potent and carefully structured, A Time to Kill thrives on courtroom tension, moral dilemmas, and character-driven drama rather than spectacle, making it a compelling exploration of justice, empathy, and the complexities of right and wrong. Number 3. Killers of the Flower Moon. Directed by Martin Scorsese, Killers of the Flower Moon is a gripping and meticulously crafted historical thriller that fuses true crime intrigue with a searing exploration of greed, betrayal, and systemic injustice. The film centers on Molly Burkhart, an Osage woman living during the 1920s Oklahoma oil boom, as she faces personal and community challenges that test her strength and resilience. It explores themes of power, greed, and justice, highlighting how Molly and her community navigate difficult and dangerous circumstances. Lily Gladstone delivers a quietly powerful performance as Molly, imbuing her with dignity, grief, and resilience. Leonardo DiCaprio portrays Ernest Burkhart with layered complexity, balancing vulnerability with complicity, while Robert De Niro brings chilling precision to William Hale, the manipulative force behind the murders. Supporting performances by Jesse Plemons, Tantu Cardinal, and others add depth, portraying a community caught in the grip of exploitation and fear. Elegantly shot and deliberate in its pacing, Killers of the Flower Moon is less about spectacle and more about the human and emotional consequences of systemic violence. The film examines history, morality, and justice with a careful, unflinching eye, making it both haunting and unforgettable. Number 2. Road to Perdition. Directed by Sam Mendes, Road to Perdition is a visually striking and emotionally resonant crime drama that fuses noir sensibilities with a deeply human exploration of loyalty, vengeance, and the bonds of family. The film centers on Michael Sullivan, a loyal enforcer for the Irish mob during the Great Depression, as he faces personal and professional challenges that test his strength and integrity. Forced to navigate a dangerous and violent world, Michael strives to protect his family while teaching his son about loyalty, survival, and the moral complexities of life. Tom Hanks delivers a restrained and quietly commanding performance as Michael, capturing both the stoicism and the inner turmoil of a man torn between duty and conscience. Paul Newman embodies the calculating mob boss John Rooney with subtle menace, while Jude Law impresses as the ruthless, unpredictable Connor Rooney, heightening the film's tension. Daniel Craig also makes a striking impression as a cold-blooded enforcer, adding further menace to the story. Conrad Hall's cinematography captures the Depression-era Midwest with striking shadows and light, while Mendes' careful pacing turns Road to Perdition into a haunting meditation on fatherhood, legacy, and vengeance. Number 1. Fargo. Directed by Joel Cohen, Fargo is a darkly comic and suspenseful crime thriller that blends bleak Midwestern landscapes with sharp wit and moral complexity. The film centers on Jerry Lundegaard, a financially struggling car salesman whose desperate decisions set off a series of unexpected and chaotic events. Meanwhile, Police Chief Marge Gunderson investigates, revealing the darkly comic and often brutal consequences of human greed. Frances McDormand delivers an Oscar-winning performance as Marge, balancing warmth, intelligence, and quiet determination. William H. Macy's portrayal of Jerry captures desperation and naivety, while Steve Buscemi and Peter Stormare bring darkly cunning menace to the criminal subplot. Shot with stark, snowy visuals and infused with Coen brothers' trademark dark humor, Fargo is a tense, intelligent thriller that examines morality, consequence, and the banality of evil in a deceptively quiet setting.